Hello, my name is Jeanne Stoner. I'm a member of the Career Experts Group. I'm here today to help you learn how to write a fantastic technical resume. And I have a passion for this topic because I spent 30 years working for a tech company in human resources and specialized in talent development. And I love writing resumes for engineers and IT professionals. And so I'm here to share best practices. So the agenda. We're going to look at 5 tips for success and then learn how to review a resume and understand what's missing by using those tips. And then I'm going to share a best practice resume to help you understand what works well using industry best practices and these 5 tips. So here's what they are. First of all, number 1, use a combined format and modern look. And we'll show you an example or two of what that looks like. Number 2, we want to help you learn how to write a strategic resume. You want to write targeted for the next role, so you land that opportunity of your dreams. Number 3, we want to teach you how to speak to your business value and business impact, because what's critical about a technical resume is you're writing to 2 audiences. One is that non-technical audience, that human resource recruiter that's going to decide yes or no if your resume goes to a technical decision maker. And the second audience is the technical team, that they too want to understand not just your technical contributions, but your business impact. Number 4, be distinctive to stand out. And we use a term called personal branding. And I'm going to showcase for you how to use personal branding so you don't look like the other 10 engineers that are applying for the role. You truly do stand out in your resume and on paper. Tip number 5 is we want to help you learn how to build an applicant tracking friendly resume to include technical, process, and soft skill keywords. And we'll show you a couple examples of how to do that successfully. So let's do a resume review. This is an example of John Smith. It's a resume that came into us. And when we first look at a resume, we sit down with a client and ask some questions. First of all, is the layout modern? Can you give the layout a bit of flair? This example is very basic resume, and it's not very eye appealing. So there's an opportunity for improvement there. Second is it readable and easy to skim? So so the question is, can you move the content onto 2 pages, and why is that important? It is true that HR recruiters many times read a resume in 10 to 15 seconds and make a decision. So you want this resume to be easy to read, easy to skim, so that HR recruiter can make a quick decision in your favor. So let's just take a look at the new layout. When we were done working with John, this is what the resume looked like. And if you can see just with your eye, take a look at the 2-page resume, is how modern it is looks. You see shading, you see bolding, you see nice use of font. We use a basic Word document because remember, you can't use templates, you can't use PDF files, you can't use Pages or Canva because applicant tracking systems can't read them. So we used a basic Word document to build this nice, beautiful, modern resume. And we got it onto 2 pages. So it's readable, easy to skim on 2 pages. The bolding and the shading brings in the eye. So that adds an ability to skim the resume. And most importantly, we use this combined format, which is an industry best practice. It's a modern way of writing your resume. And if you just take a look at it, it starts with a title, software engineering lead in this example. There's a branding section. So you see the top third before we even get into the skills, we add a little bit of information to help you be distinctive and to show value. Then we move into a skills list, and some writers will have you have a list. Others will help you embed these keywords into the work experience section. A trend in resume writing is that applicant tracking systems prefer to see keywords embedded throughout the work experience section. So skill lists are somewhat fading away at times because they don't make you distinctive, but many clients and many recruiters do like to use skills lists. So you'll find many resume writers will recommend them. Then the lowest skills list, you're going to see a lot of information. The bulk of the resume should focus on your work experience if you have, 10 years or more. And then on the second page, towards the end, we have the education. And education will always be towards the end of the resume, unless you're a college grad or you're in a special profession like nursing. And then we moved the technical table to the second page we want to be strategic, because John Smith wants to leave coding and become a manager for the first time. So it made more sense to put the technical table on page 2 versus page 1. Now let's talk about how to be strategic. What do we mean? I love to use the analogy of programming your resume like a GPS. We all know that when you put an address into a GPS, you're going to get to your destination. So before you start writing your resume, ask yourself, do you know where you're going? Do you know what your targeted roles are? If you do, fantastic. If not, you might want to put a pause line and work with a professional coach, take some assessments, and really try to figure out what that specific targeted strategy is going to be for you. Then have you spent some time looking at job boards? I always say select 3 to 5 job descriptions to help point you and the writer in the right direction. I never write a resume without a few job descriptions in hand, because it helps clarify the job titles that we should be using in the resume. And it also enables me to do my research and make sure that I've got the right keywords in the resume, so it's going to get a high search engine optimization score. So job descriptions are super helpful. And an industry best practice is to do a little research on job titles, on keywords. There's a wonderful tool out there called LinkedIn Explorer. I'll show it to you in detail in a bit. Whenever I write a resume, I always use the LinkedIn Explorer tool to make sure that the job titles are as exact as an address that I would put into a GPS, and that my skills list matches the ones in the LinkedIn database, because that's how recruiters find talent when they do a job search. So let's do this resume review and ask, is this resume strategic? So when the resume came in, the top of the resume was written with a whole long list of bullets called the summary section. So the question to ask is how can we make this more modern? How can you simplify it so it's easy to read and scan? Readers do not like long bulleted lists in the summary, in the work experience, or anywhere in the resume. So stay away from long lists. So how can we make this summary strategic? What are your targeted roles? Can we add a job title into the intro of the resume? Business value. Are you showcasing your business value to a non-technical reader? And when you have a long list of bullets, and most of those bullets are talking about your technical competencies, it does not showcase your business value to an HR reader. Distinctive. What are your selling points? Again, when you have a long list, to me, this list looks like skills that any 10 applicants who are applying for this job will probably have these same skills. So how do you make yourself distinctive? How do you stand out from those other 10 applicants? That's the challenge of this section. So here you go. Here's an example of how to turn this into a best practice. So you see, by just looking at the top of the resume, this is the rewrite, that it's strategic and distinctive. The intro, we call this the personal branding section. First of all, it's modern. Look at the shading, look at the bolding, look at the beautiful use of fonts. Calabrini and Castana fonts work really well. Castana for headings, Calabrini for the body of the writing. Strategy, this example, we have software engineering lead. It's very clear on what this person wants to do next. Business value, look right below the title and take a look at some of the words. Passionate about solving business problems through innovation and engineering practices, continuously strive for improvement and learning, people leader and talent developer. Now we get these value statements many times by reading job descriptions and just selecting some phrases from them. In John Smith's example, because he was so passionate about becoming his first engineering manager role, we added the value of people leader and talent developer because he's done a lot of mentoring and coaching with his team. Distinction, like look below the value statement, you see 4 words in bold: applications innovator, team technical leader, project manager, and environments. We use the bold words to showcase the top 3 to 4 selling points, and we add the detail next to them to help John Smith be distinctive. So it's amazing what you can do in the top third of the resume. This is the most challenging part of the writing. This is why you want to consider hiring professional writers to support you in your resume development, because it's strategy and distinction will really help you land a job as fast as possible. So now let's look at the resume review again. This was the second section that was sent in from John. That he called it his skill set section. And as I looked at the table, I said, boy, this is nice, applicant friendly. It's a very nice organized technical list. But the question is, do you have all the keywords needed for a high SEO score? You have a technical list, but have you checked job descriptions? Have you checked LinkedIn Explorer? Have you used Skill Syncer, which is a wonderful tool I recommend? You can use that tool. You can put in the job description. You can put in your resume, and it'll tell you what your SEO score is and what you need to do to modify it. So do some research before you finalize your skill set list. And then the strategy, this technical table was on page 1, but does it make sense to have this on page 1? Is it aligned to what you want to do next, which is a manager job? And how can we move this on to page 2? And then how can we make this table a little bit more modern? Can we get it to stand out to the reader? So let's take a look at what we can do with a technical table. Here you go. So applicant friendly. John refreshed this technical table. He did look at some job descriptions and added some keywords. He did make it more strategic. He agreed to move it to page 2, aligned with his search strategy. And I helped him make it more modern. We added shading to ensure the table stands out. Now, applicant tracking friendly resumes, what's really remarkable is that there are over 193 applicant tracking systems. These here are some of the more popular ones. I'm sure you might have heard of others. So the challenge is, how do you get your resume from the applicant tracking system to a person? Because you want to program your resume like a piece of software, because you're really talking to a person or to a computer first, not to a person. So you have to use the computer language. So this is a screenshot of LinkedIn Explorer. The URL is at the top of the screen here, and I encourage you to you can just Google LinkedIn Explorer, you can find it. What's cool about this tool is you just enter in job titles. So you can put in software engineering manager, you're going to get a drop down of a whole bunch of job titles, and you review them and just make sure that the job title is as specific as can be of what you want to do next. You click on that job title. In this example, we have software engineering manager, and you're going to get this beautiful list of keywords, okay? And you want to really take a look at this list of keywords and use this as a launching point of building a skill list or building keywords in the context of your resume. It's a fantastic resource, and I cannot encourage you enough to use it. So what did we do once we used LinkedIn Explorer and viewed some job descriptions? We realized that John needed to add what we called a signature strengths list. We needed the resume to be more applicant friendly. We had to add process keywords for high SEO score. We needed to make it strategic. We needed to add these words to page 1 to draw on the attention of a non-technical reader. So some of these words: application development, software development lifecycle, system integration, component and system level testing, production release, Agile, Scrum implementation. I'm sure these words are very familiar to you. You need to make sure these words are either in a skills list or these words are put in the work experience of your resume. Either these words or the keywords that best match the job title that you're going for. So now let's take a look at work experience. And this is the original resume that came in from John. And if you look at the words on the left, he has description, and he has a lot of writing there. And I really like the writing because it tells a lot of story. And I think storytelling is a great way to make your resume stand out from others. But it's a lot of words. So how can we write tight and concise so we can get this resume on 2 pages? And also look at his list of responsibilities. So the challenge with a list of responsibilities is any engineer does the same stuff. So you want to make yourself distinctive. Can you rewrite this responsibilities and focus on your achievements, not your job duties? And many, many times as a professional resume writer, people make this mistake. This section is written like a job duty, not an achievement-based resume. And that's the challenge of the section. Look down on environment. John added a whole lot of technical terms down here. And frankly, I thought this was a great way to showcase technical keywords within the context of a job. It's appealing to the applicant tracking system and it's appealing to the technical reader. I loved it. And I encouraged John to continue it and embellish it. So let's look at how we did that. Before we look at the detail, this section is all about business value, and we especially with engineers, we use the SOAR story approach or the STAR story approach. I personally use SOAR. So let's take a look at what that means. SOAR means situation. What was the situation of the job that you were asked to do? What obstacles? What was the project or problems you had to fix? Actions. What actions did you do to fix the problems? And result. How did your work add business value? What do we mean? Take a look at the words on the left. Did your work help design a new product, increase efficiency, innovate new ideas, reduce design cycle time, increase sales or revenues, reduce costs, improve customer sat? Did you write new training materials or documentation? Did you improve quality? Did you solve a complex technical problem? Did you ensure compliance? Did you win an award or patent? And we can go on, but you get the idea. It's all about showcasing how you added value to the business in the work experience of your resume. So let's take a look at this example. So here we go. This is a Wells Fargo. So if you look at the words on the left, we use a project description and highlights and bullets to showcase business value. And what I love is we start with scope, oversee small business deposit software development team with 5 developers, provide hands-on coding. The project is modernizing account open functionality for small business. Adding that project description shows your business value, and it's great for a non-technical reader, and it's great for a technical reader. So I always encourage you to, situation, obstacle. This is the obstacle, problem or challenge you had to fix, okay? The bullets are the actions and the results. And if you see the words in bold, enhanced availability and alerting mechanism to avoid downtime, and then innovated and developed distributed microservices using event-based architecture and lots of technical detail. But the words in bold showcase your business value, enhanced availability and alerting mechanisms to avoid downtime, leading a mentoring team in Agile environment, collaborating with developers, involving facilitating Scrum meetings, user story grooming, and sprint retrospects. We added those achievements to showcase that he has management experience. And notice how we make the resume applicant friendly. We add the environment list to draw on the attention of a technical reader and earn a high SEO score. And as you can see, I encouraged John to amplify this, add a lot of detail here. And by doing so, this resume enabled John to land a fantastic new job with a Fortune 500 company within 30 days. So that's it for the presentation today. I want to encourage you to join our community of career experts groups. We have a fantastic website, which you can find at www.careerexpertsgroup.com. You can reach us with questions at info@careerexpertsgroup.com. We produce a monthly newsletter that I encourage you to subscribe to. It's loaded with useful information. And just to wish you well, I want to thank you for listening to this presentation. And I truly believe that if you can dream about that next job, wonderful new job, you can do it. And I wish you all the best. Good luck.